What's the first thing that went through your mind when you saw Alexis's face on TV yesterday afternoon?
Yes, sir. I appreciate you asking me that. First of all, just to let you know, my heart goes out to all the innocent victims. And I just never would have seen anything like this coming with Aaron. He didn't seem like that kind of a person. And so, you know, we're hearing more and more things as the days go by. But certainly we would have never guessed that Aaron would be capable of pointing a gun and actually shooting a person, let alone many people. And so it's just it's a really hard thing to handle, because he was like a friend, a family friend, a brother to me, and so it's just I don't understand what set him off.
Police say that Alexis had been hearing voices. You may have just heard Deb Fayrick's report that in Rhode Island he was saying that individuals were sending vibrations through his body. Did he ever indicate any sort of mental unbalance, that he was hearing voices, feeling vibrations, paranoia, anything at all?
Well, sir, that would have had to have been something more recent, and I hadn't seen him recently. I've had a phone call conversation with him several months ago about how he was mad at the company he worked for because they were slow to pay, is the way he put it. And Aaron seemed to confide in me as the reason why he would call me. But some of that recent stuff I wouldn't know about. Certainly, I would have thought that would be an alarm for him to find out something like that. So I didn't know anything about voices or anything about that, what was going on in his job, because I hadn't heard from him in a while. So all that must have happened while he was on the job with these contractors. So I hadn't heard from him recently, but I certainly would have, it would have been a red flag to me as well to hear things like that about Aaron, because he never would let on to us here at the Happy Bowl. These people really took him under their wing. They were really more like a family to him. And so all of this is news to us, and we're just all distraught. We don't understand why it turned into something as violent, other than the only thing that comes to mind for me is that he had, he liked to go online and had video games, like violent video games that he played. That's the only thing that comes to mind for me. Other than that, he was never violent or angry over here with the family. They, like I said, he was more like a son to them than anything.
Millions of Americans obviously play violent video games without any effect. Was there any strain of violence that you ever saw with him relating to the video games or just in day-to-day life?
No, just that it surprised me that a long time ago, probably a year or so ago, when I was invited to his house to watch a football game, he spent more time in there watching, playing the game online with some other individual, which was a pretty bloody game of shooting. He spent more time doing that than entertaining his guests. And I commented to Aaron on that, wow, man, you're in your 30s, dude, you need to let that stuff go. And like I said, he was, I would say things like, you're a brother of another mother. And he would say things like, yeah, you're my Italian buddy, a mafia guy from New York. So we had things we joked about. Aaron wasn't conservative like I am. He was more of a liberal type. He wasn't happy with the former administration. He was more happy with this administration, as far as presidential administration. So, we joked and we had comments with each other about that, but we always seemed to meet in the middle over those issues. But he had respect for me, and he had respect for the people at the restaurant. He better have respect, more or less, because he worked there, and he showed that kind of respect, but he never showed any, not anger or dismay or unhappiness. He was happy over having a job. It was just slow pay for those people that hired him, is what he told me several months ago on the phone when he called me. He needed money financially. His car was broke down, and that was the only thing I can think of that he was having problems with in his life. I tried to get him on where I work. I work for the Treasury, and he messed up his application, and so he didn't get hired because he did the paperwork wrong. But I told him that if he kept on trying, he would eventually get in there because he had government experience, and the Treasury people would like to hire people that have government experience. So he had opportunities coming up, and I thought he had opportunities with his company. So I just don't understand. We don't understand. We're all sorry for the victims. God bless them people, and I apologize for him if I can. We wish we could have done something to influence him in a different way.
All right, Michael Ritrovato, thank you so much for your time. Coming up.